In Thailand, the monarchy is not just an institution. It is the beating heart of the nation's identity. For 70 years, King Bhumibol Adulyadej, Rama IX, was revered as a father figure, a moral compass, and a unifying symbol. His reign was so long, so deeply woven into the lives of his people, that for many Thais, he was the only monarch they had ever known. Into this immense shadow was born his only son, Maha Vajiralongkorn, on July 28, 1952. From the moment of his birth at Dusit Palace, the expectations were monumental. He was not just a child. He was the heir to a dynasty stretching back more than 2 centuries, the Chakri Dynasty. His life would never be his own. Every step, every decision, every gesture would be measured against the legacy of his father and the hopes of millions.
The young prince's childhood was a paradox, filled with privilege, yet bound by duty. Within the ornate halls of the palace, he was surrounded by tradition, ceremony, and the constant reminder of his destiny. Yet he was also a boy who longed for the simple joys of childhood. He grew up under the watchful eyes of courtiers, tutors, and his parents, who instilled in him both affection and discipline. Every morning began with rituals, every evening ended with lessons. While other children played freely in the streets of Bangkok, Vajiralongkorn's playground was the palace gardens, his companions carefully chosen, his world tightly controlled. This early life shaped him in profound ways, teaching him the weight of responsibility, but also isolating him from the ordinary experiences of his people.
Education was seen as the key to preparing the prince for his future role. He began at Chitralada School, founded by his father within the palace grounds, where he studied alongside commoners, a deliberate choice to ground him in the realities of Thai society. But soon, his education took him far from home. In England, he attended King's Mead and later Millfield School, where he encountered a world vastly different from the traditions of Bangkok. The cold winters, the strict discipline, the unfamiliar culture, all were challenges that tested his adaptability. Later, in Australia, at the Royal Military College, Duntroon, he underwent rigorous military training. Here, he learned not only tactics and strategy, but also endurance, resilience, and leadership. His education was a bridge between East and West, between tradition and modernity, shaping a prince who would one day be king.
In December 1972, at just 20 years old, Vajiralongkorn was formally invested as crown prince by his father. The ceremony was historic. For the first time in modern Thai history, the line of succession was clear and undisputed. The title brought immense honor, but also immense scrutiny. From that day forward, every action of the young prince was viewed through the lens of his future kingship. He was no longer just a royal son, he was the heir apparent, the man who would one day sit on the throne of Thailand. The people looked to him with curiosity, hope, and sometimes doubt. Could he live up to the example of his father? Could he embody the virtues expected of a Thai monarch? These questions would follow him for decades.
Unlike many heirs to thrones, Vajiralongkorn's military career was not symbolic. He trained as a pilot, mastering helicopters and fighter jets. He flew Cobra gunships, F-5 fighters, and even commercial aircraft. In the 1970s, during Thailand's struggle against communist insurgents, he flew real missions, commanded troops, and faced genuine danger. For soldiers under his command, he was not just a prince,
he was their leader in the field. This experience gave him credibility within the armed forces, an institution that has always been central to Thai politics. It also reinforced his image as a warrior prince, a man willing to serve and to fight for his country.
Yet while his military service earned respect, his personal life drew constant attention. Unlike his father, whose image was carefully cultivated as a model of virtue, Vajiralongkorn's relationships and lifestyle became subjects of fascination and controversy. His marriages, divorces, and family matters were followed closely, both at home and abroad. In a society where the monarchy is revered, such scrutiny was unprecedented. For some, it humanized him, showing that even a prince faced struggles of the heart. For others, it raised questions about his suitability to inherit his father's mantle. This duality, admired as a soldier, questioned as a man, would define much of his time as crown prince.
On October 13, 2016, King Bhumibol Adulyadej passed away. The nation was plunged into grief. For weeks, Thailand was draped in black as millions mourned the only monarch they had ever known. In that moment of sorrow, all eyes turned to the crown prince. Would he immediately ascend the throne? Instead, he asked for time to mourn his father, time to prepare himself, and time for the nation to adjust. It was a decision that surprised many, but also reflected the enormity of the transition. To follow a king who had reigned for 70 years was no ordinary task. It was stepping into history itself.
On December 1, 2016, Vajiralongkorn formally accepted the throne, becoming Rama X of the Chakri Dynasty. The moment was both solemn and historic. For the first time in 7 decades, Thailand had a new king. The continuity of the monarchy was preserved, but the character of the crown had changed. Rama X was not his father, and his reign would be judged on its own terms. The nation watched with anticipation, curiosity, and uncertainty.
In May 2019, Thailand witnessed a coronation unlike any in living memory. Over 3 days, ancient rituals blended with modern spectacle. The king was anointed with sacred waters collected from across the kingdom. He donned the great crown of victory, weighing over 7 kilograms, symbolizing the burden of kingship. He sat upon the Bodindradebayavarangkun throne, receiving homage from courtiers, generals, and monks. Outside the palace, golden processions wound through Bangkok streets as thousands lined the roads to glimpse their new monarch. It was a moment of continuity, a reminder that the monarchy, though evolving, remained at the heart of Thai identity. As Rama X settled into his reign, he moved swiftly to consolidate authority. He assumed direct control of the Crown Property Bureau, placing vast royal assets under his personal command. He also strengthened his influence over the military, ensuring loyalty from the institution that has long been a pillar of Thai politics. These moves signaled a king determined not just to inherit the throne, but to wield its power actively. For supporters, it was a sign of strength. For critics, it raised questions about the balance of power in modern Thailand.
Public perception of Rama X has been complex. Reverence for the monarchy remains deeply rooted, but his reign has also sparked debate. Strict lèse-majesté laws limit open discussion, yet whispers of discontent and calls for reform have grown louder, especially among younger generations. For some, he represents continuity and stability. For others, he embodies the challenges of adapting an ancient institution to a modern world. The image of the king is thus contested, revered, respected, but also questioned in ways that reflect Thailand's shifting society.
The story of King Maha Vajiralongkorn is not only the story of a monarch, but also of a family whose lives are deeply intertwined with the destiny of a nation. Throughout his life, Rama X's personal relationships have been a subject of fascination, speculation, and sometimes controversy. His marriages and divorces, his children from different unions, and the evolving role of his consorts have all been closely watched by the Thai public and the international press. In a monarchy where the private is always political, the king's family life has never been entirely his own. Among his children, one figure stands out in particular: Prince Dipankorn Rasmijoti, born in 2005. As the officially recognized heir, Dipankorn represents the future of the Chakri Dynasty. His upbringing, education, and public appearances are carefully observed, for in him lies the continuity of the monarchy. But the royal family is more than succession. It is also a symbol of tradition and continuity. Royal ceremonies, family portraits, and public appearances are not just personal milestones, they are national events, moments when the people glimpse the private lives of those who embody the institution of kingship. For the Thai people, the royal family remains a mirror of their own hopes and anxieties. Every marriage, every child, every announcement is not only a family matter, but a national story. And in this way, the personal and the political are inseparable. The private life of the king is also the destiny of the nation.
Every monarch is judged against their predecessor. For Rama X, the comparison is both inevitable and daunting. His father, King Bhumibol Adulyadej, Rama IX, reigned for 70 years, longer than most Thais had been alive. He was seen not only as a king, but as a moral compass, a unifying figure who guided the nation through decades of turbulence. Rama IX's image was carefully cultivated, a king who walked among his people, who carried a camera instead of a sword, who spent hours in the fields with farmers, listening to their struggles. He was revered as the father of the nation, a symbol of stability in a country often shaken by coups and political unrest. For Rama X, stepping into this legacy was like stepping into a shadow that stretched across generations. No matter what he did, comparisons were inevitable. Where his father was seen as humble, he was often portrayed as distant. Where his father was celebrated for his moral authority, Rama X has been scrutinized for his personal choices. And yet, history reminds us that every monarch is a product of their time. Rama IX reigned in an era when the monarchy could embody unity in a way that transcended politics. Rama X reigns in a different age, one of social media, global scrutiny, and a younger generation less willing to accept tradition without question. The comparison is not simply between two men, but between two eras. And in that contrast lies the challenge of Rama X's reign, to define himself not only in relation to his father, but in relation to a Thailand that is no longer the same.
The monarchy does not exist in isolation. It is woven into the fabric of Thailand's political life, a life that has been anything but stable. Since the end of absolute monarchy in 1932, Thailand has experienced repeated coups, shifting constitutions, and cycles of protest and repression. The military has long been a dominant force, often justifying its interventions as necessary to protect the nation and the throne. In this turbulent landscape, the monarchy has been both a stabilizing symbol and a contested institution. Under Rama X, the political landscape has continued to evolve. His consolidation of power over royal assets and the military has reinforced the monarchy's central role. Yet, at the same time, a new generation has emerged. Young Thais who are more connected to the world, more outspoken, and more willing to question institutions once considered untouchable. Protests in recent years have not only called for political reform, but for a re-examination of the monarchy's role in modern Thailand. These are unprecedented demands, reflecting a society in transition. For some, the monarchy remains the heart of Thai identity. For others, it is an institution that must adapt or risk losing relevance. In this shifting political landscape, Rama X stands at a crossroads. His reign is not only about preserving tradition, but about navigating the pressures of a society that is changing faster than ever before.
The story of King Maha Vajiralongkorn Bodindradebayavarangkun is still being written. He is a man shaped by tradition, yet living in a world that demands change. His reign is a bridge between the memory of a father who defined an era and a future that remains uncertain. For Thailand, the monarchy is more than an institution. It is a symbol of identity, continuity, and unity. But it is also a mirror, reflecting the hopes, fears, and divisions of the nation itself. Rama X's reign will be remembered not only for what he does, but for how Thailand changes around him. Will the monarchy adapt to the demands of a new generation? Will it remain the unifying force it has long claimed to be? Or will it become the focal point of deeper struggles over the nation's future? These are questions that cannot yet be answered. But one truth is clear. The story of Rama X is inseparable from the story of Thailand. And as the nation moves forward, balancing reverence for the past with the restless energy of the present, the king's legacy will be written not only in palaces and ceremonies, but in the hearts and minds of his people.